Good evening, everybody. Just trying to get this tournament bracket up just to show you where we are. We are just about 2 minutes away from another one-loss side match, a big match in the 10 ball World Championships, or the 10 ball Masters as they're called, between Winkatme and Semipro, and it's a race to 10, and I can't find it in the bracket again. There we go. That's it there, just about to start. So race to 10, and good evening. We'll cover the rules again. It's a winner break. They'll lag for break. All combos and banks need to be called. No jump queues, but you can jump, and also a 60-second shot clock and a 60-second extension, and that about covers it. So welcome everybody, and rooms should be going up right now. It's just gone past the hour and we should be ready to jump in straight away. So I reckon this is going to be close. There might not be much in it, but of course everything can change depending how the break works for you, works for or against you, whether you get a shot or whether you leave the table dry and your opponent comes in and steals the rack. So lots of factors can play their part. As we saw last night, Mooncake didn't get much luck. So everybody's arriving. Good evening all. And we're waiting on Winkatme arriving. Well, he just arrived in the lobby about 2 minutes ago. He seems quite content to warm up during the match. There we go. Oh, the mouse is at the wrong speed. That might be Semipro at the top, and if it is, that was a poor lag. It certainly was. I mean, he was only 3 foot short of the bottom rail. So Winkatme to break. Top Gear Sunday coming. What does that mean? Top Gear was on last night on BBC One, which I haven't seen yet, so I need to watch it on. I actually ended up watching Michael Palin on BBC Two last night. So Winkatme has broken, 3 ball has gone, 7 ball has gone, shot in 1, every ball on, and oh, he's got extremely lucky there. That's big luck straight away that he's still got a shot in this 2 ball, I think. Or has he? I think he has. Now, was that a legal shot? We're about to find out. Yes, it was. And of course now he's nudged the 10. The 10 ball's acting as a blocker, and the other problem is so is the 6 to actually make this an easy combo. So he might look at the billiard here, or he might play the combo. Let's have a look and see what he's got. New Top Gear, that is, it was on last night. BBC One it's moved to. He hasn't got room to play the billiard, so he's got to call the combo. So, couple of racks in it. Bedhead calling it 10-8 to Semi. Miasma calling it 10-8 to Winkatme. And that's, well, he got a break, he got a big break there, landing on that 2 ball, but he's got the job done. Won the lag, broke a couple of balls, had a shot, and the first rack's in the bag. So No shot for Semipro. Well, I thought that was a 1 ball there. That's a bloody 9. You can tell I'm tired. Semi-Pro's saying he's tired. I bet I'm a lot more tired than he is. Well, this is tight, just to keep it to the rail. I mean, there's room past the 3. That's not the problem. The problem is he might hit that knuckle. If he tries to flush it to the rail, it'll hit the point of that knuckle in the pocket there and come away. Yeah, and that's the other problem. Trying to squeeze it past that 3, it wasn't easy. So I had a look at the bracket earlier on, and obviously discovered this match had been arranged, but I haven't seen anything arranged between Stubb and Albinario yet. So it's either going to be tomorrow night or the night after, I would imagine, because the deadline is the 7th and this is the 5th, isn't it? So they've only got tomorrow night and the next night to go, and that will suit me fine because I'll be off. So I'll definitely have that match no matter what time of day or night it is at. Well, the thing is, I don't know whether Albinario sent a proposal. I don't know whether any proposals have been sent yet. I would like to imagine that Albinario sent one. Well, this is, I mean, the problem's not the cut, the problem's just where the cue ball's going to end up. Good evening, Popman. Now, nothing but the safety. Just got to push through onto that 6 ball. Well, I reckon it could be 10-8 either way. I think it could be even closer than that. It might go all the way, but we wait and see. And that has actually worked out fine for Winkatme. 10 ball blocking the path for the 5, but there is a safety here, and the safety is the cross bank, where you bank the 5 to the rail to go that way and go somewhere like there and take the cue ball down this way. You've got to get the pace right though. We'll see if he's got something like that in mind. I mean, he's calling the 10, but I don't believe he's playing it. Is he looking at a billiard? Well, that I think was asking a bit too much, but this time Semi-Pro's got away with it. I thought the safety would have been the better idea than risking something like that early on. Now, is he going to risk a big risk on this cut in the 5? But he's going to have to leave a long cut in that 6 should he get the 5 in this bottom right hand corner. 8 ball blocking the path to the left hand corner. Well, Semi-Pro has got a problem immediately with this 5 ball. It's right on the edge of that jaw, and I think if he just pots this 5, he's going to run into the 6 unless he digs deep to try and come up the table. And is he going to get unlucky? Well, that's exactly what's happened. the only ball he could fall behind, the 8 ball. And these are the sort of breaks that they either work for you or you don't. When you start getting things like this happening, you just hope it's the one rack. You just hope it doesn't become a trend. Well, he's missed a kick and he should be 2-0 down. And when I say he should be, it's going to have to be the combo, I think, if Winkatme's going to keep it fairly simple. But this angle, well, he's decided to draw back, which is probably the sensible thing to do, because if he pushed that 7 onto the 9, the 7 could have went safe to the side rail. Well, this is a bit tricky. He's got to get this flush and get a little bit of draw. So definitely should be 2-0 now. And the one error already from Semipro, getting himself hooked, has cost him rack number 2. And of course it's only race to 10. Suddenly when you're 2-0 down in a race to 10, it's already a big gap. But, and I say but, you don't panic into taking on something you shouldn't this early in the match. Well, Winkatme, a couple of balls in the break. What was that? 5 and 6 have gone. He's got half a chance on the 1 ball, cut into the right middle. And now it's difficult to judge, but there may well be a path up between the 9 ball and the side rail to get right up the top of the table. It's the obvious natural path the cue ball seems to be going. In fact, the way he's cutting this, let's have a look at it from behind to see it better. No, I think the cue ball's going to get further into that right hand corner pocket as we look, I think, unless he does something with the cue ball. Well, he's taking a big risk, and he's then got no shot in the 2. Now how's he playing this? Is he trying to draw into this 3? Yeah. Well, this time it hasn't worked out. 4 ball is blocking the path of the 2, and I don't think he can push through in this either. I don't think. Let's have a look. Yes, he can. Is it going to get to the rail though? No. How far was that off the rail? Oh, well, what? 3 millimeters off the rail. So Semipro has got his chance, but he's got to get from that 7 onto the 8. The 9 down here is fine, but he really wants to be getting close to this rail if he can. He doesn't want to leave any great angle in this 8 ball. He wants to be staring down the 8 ball. That'll do. So Semipro will give him this one already. He should be back to within 1. Now is Semipro going to break from the left hand diamond? I think that's where he's been breaking from a lot of the time. Yeah, now let's see what this 2 ball does if he gets this right. Yeah, 2 balls running into the 7 that time. 7 Well, it's been nudged in by the 8. Something else went in as well. 2 ball is gone. Now, can he see the 1? And the answer to that is no. And the 3 ball is awkward behind the 5, so just to push. Now, I'm not so sure that was the best push out, because Winkatme has got an open invitation to try and tuck the cue ball. He could, maybe if he plays this right, he could use a 10 ball to try and hide the 1, but the most important part is trying to tuck the cue ball away up behind those balls up in the top right. This is a risky shot. You see how he's used the 10 ball. A commentator's eye again, absolutely perfect. The 10 ball was a helper. If he got that part right, then it wouldn't have mattered if he didn't get the cover at the top end, but every part of that shot worked out perfect. And this time, Semipro deciding it was, nigh on impossible to get near the 1, so he's decided to play the deliberate foul just to make sure that the 3 and 6 are awkward, and leave it up to Semipro, to Winkatme. But he's going to be, well, see, that's a poor shot. That is extremely poor. Touch like a sledgehammer again, Winkatme, and that is really bad. And he'll be in deep trouble in a minute, because he's handed it in a plate to Semipro here, unless Semipro wants to risk trying to break the balls up, which he has done, and it's cost him the 1. Now, if he'd been a bit more patient, he could have really buried Winkatme there. You've got to just stop and take stock of the situation, pot the 1 ball, make sure you see the 3, and then make sure Winkatme doesn't see the 3. Far too risky to be taking risk like that. And now Winkatme could have Semipro in a similar situation, unless he tries to create something. Now, is he going to see enough of that? I think he is. That's pretty good, and it could cost Semipro the rack. I know if it was me, well, that's another. First of all, we had a bad safety from Winkatme. Poor weight of shot, and then we had a poor shot in the 4. And sooner or later, both of these players will find their weight of shot, because Semipro is way off the mark there. He's still got a cut, but he's going to have to be playing this 6 ball at a distance, I would imagine. And this is tough. But again, you see, it's tough. If you want to go for it, you go for it. But look at the 8 ball. The 8 ball is so difficult. But it's easy enough to cut that 6 to there, send it to there, and bring the cue ball down here. Now, I'm not sure whether he played the pot or not there. It's difficult to say. I think he probably did. But he had a reasonably good safety there. Now, what about this 8 ball? Well, we know it doesn't pass the 9 this side, and obviously it goes that side. But if he comes down this left side, he's going to scratch, is he? No, he's okay. Well, this is just going to have to be gently rolled in. He's going to finish somewhere up by that, beyond that middle diamond. In fact, near the first diamond, near the middle pocket here with this shot. That's about as best as he could do. Well, I have to say, I think Semipro went for that shot in the 6, whereas again it should have probably been the safety, because it was so difficult to get any guarantee you were going to be good on the 8 ball. Good evening. Well, Winkatme, another mistake, and well, Semipro should just help himself here, because Winkatme's not taking the advantage. We've had errors for both players, and Semipro from 2-0 down has been ably assisted to get back all square. Well, it's been a bit of again, there's shots I don't agree with. There's been a couple of shots so far that I don't agree with, when a more sensible safety shot was probably better. But some players, time and time again, just have this urge to try and pot a ball. To try and pot a ball and look good is fine, but if you try and pot a ball and you miss it and then you lose the rat, you look a bit of an umpty when you've got the option of a good safety. And we've seen it in some matches where safety's been used pretty well. Players have maybe thought out the shot and decided it is a risky shot, but there is an option of a safety, and I think maybe a wiser choice now and again might benefit, rather than sticking your neck out and taking too much of a risk. Because it definitely should be 3-1 right now, no doubt about that. The Semipros managed to find a way to scratch, and look at these balls. Winkatme should be out. And it's as if Winkatme didn't do any warming up. Poor weight of shot trying to lock the cue ball onto the 9 earlier on. Made a right duff effort to that. Left the 2 ball on. So it's best that he warms up now rather than trying to warm up when it's like 8-all or something like that. That's a bit late. Oh, it just needs to bounce. That will do. Now, this is the one that can be dangerous, this 5 ball getting to the 6. He doesn't want to run into the 8, obviously, like that, which has now put him in the middle of the table in the wrong angle in the 6. So does he go forward? Again, he doesn't want to run into the 9 either, so if he goes forward, maybe with a little bit of inside, well, he's avoided the 9, he's hit the 10, and it's done him a favour. So he's still in control now. This 10, or this 8 will be at distance, as will the 9, but just drop the 10 in and he'll be 3-2 in front. So this might be an important break coming up. Being 3-2 up, can he get a break, a ball and a shot, give him that 2-rack edge, apply the pressure a wee bit. Nothing this time. Once again though, Semipro's getting no favours off this dry break from Winkatme. No shot at all. Is Winkatme going to be brave enough here? Because again, there's another safety shot. the trouble is you don't really know where the one ball's going to end up, but if you're trying, you could try and come off. I think the angle's there to do it, but maybe he's a bit close to the rail, but you could try and get over behind that 8 and 10, but I think he's too close to the rail, possibly. But the worry with this shot would be where the one ball's going to end up. He could try going up the table, but the one ball would be exposed, but he's decided all out for the pot. Now, of course, once he's made that decision, he's got to do it. Now, he needs to have a quick look at that 6 ball before he does anything, because that 6 ball is about a millimetre off the rail. Now that was always going to happen. That was always on the cards. And look what he's ended up. Right behind the 10. Now, he's called a pocket. It's the old hit and hope. Called the top right hand corner. And that'll do. That's not bad. It's a good result. Now then, well, the bank isn't on. There's no room to manoeuvre there. But Semipro has played a good one, and that puts him in charge in the rack. Not difficult to hit the 7. Oh dear. Well, there's a nice bit of luck off that jaw. And immediately Semipro is in trouble. It's amazing how that little bit of luck just changes the whole setup. You played a good safety, Semipro's played a good safety, and then he finds himself stuck and locked. And then of course, look at his luck, absolutely nothing. But it does look likely that Winkatme is going to get the 2 rack gap again. Now, does he go all the way through and around the angles? Nope, he's just going to roll it, playing it at distance. This for 4-2. So Winkatme just breaking from where the cue ball's placed when the rack's reset. And look at the 10 ball. That 10 ball is in dangerous territory, and he can go for it straight away here if he wants. It's not easy, but even if he sets the 1 to the rail and it comes off the rail, he's got a fair chance of knocking the 10 in. Semipro. or does he fancy trying to run out? Because look at where the 4 ball is. I think it's worth having a go at this and hitting it. Has he looked at the 4? Well, he might live to regret that, because that 10 ball, let's have a look at the 10. Well, that 10 ball's in a pretty good position. Even if you hit the rail and hit the 10, it would have bound to have gone in. But well, he's playing the 3 onto it now. Having a good look at it. And it goes, and that's a bit of a relief. Now, break from the left again, or no, Semipro just sticking with what he's been doing. Good evening. Tin, has Albinario sent Stubb a proposal yet, or vice versa? Well, Semipro this time, the break has worked. Ball in the break, and he should be out. Now, what's the angle like in the 2? Well, the angle's fine. He's the wrong side, but he can certainly easily go through with a bit of spin if he wants to take that 3 into the opposite middle. Well, he had to be a wee bit more aggressive than that. You've got to, the worst thing you do with that shot is you overhit it, and you've still got a shot into the middle. He's way short, big time. Got to make sure you get the top side of the table at least, and you don't want to be having to dig out awkward shots. But he's got away with it. So it's always about making your life easy when you're trying to run a table. There's big areas to get into to make the next shot more simple, and this is the one that's going to be awkward. It's a draw shot, and you overhit it like that. That's the safest way to do it. You overhit it and you draw to the rail, and the cue ball's got to go into the table. Now the other one is, now does he want to stun? He's tried to stun and draw it up, and he's short. That shot again, you've just got to be a wee bit more aggressive, and this is tough. So he's having to pull out shots to keep at the table here, and this is a big test, and he's got a nice kiss in the 9, and he should be back all square again. What sort of times are we talking about, Tin? Well, what proposal did Albinario send? That's the more important one, because Albie's an hour in front of us. Well, we're back all square. We've still got a match on. Two ball was tracking there, but it's run into the cue ball. 3 ball has disappeared, so the 3 and the 9 have gone, and Semipro, the worst thing about this shot is he's right on the rail, so he can't dig and kill the cue ball. It's just having to run through a little bit. So another tough shot in the 2, and this time he's got to get up the table. Well, Sunday's gone past. Monday hasn't been accepted, so Wednesday at, well, if that's Albinaria's time, that would be 9 o'clock my time, that would be fine. So neither of them have been accepted. So this is promising now for Semipro to go into the lead for the first time. This is a tough 6 though. It's got to get that cue ball out. No, if it's 8 PM your time, Tin, you're an hour in front of me, so that means it's 7 PM my time. Well, is Stubb still there? Stubb, get one of them accepted. The one at 9 o'clock would be fine on Wednesday, instead of farting about. Which would be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon Stubb's time. Well, Semipro has gone into the lead for the first time in the match, and he leads by 5 racks to 4, so it's been a good little period, albeit he's made it tough, but he's got the job done. And again, a ball in the break, and that one ball has just gone safe. If it had slowed down, he'd have been off and running again, but he's got an easy safety, just a thin cut. Yeah, he's just bringing the cue ball down the table. So that's the ones that Stubb sent. Yeah, crazy times, 3 o'clock in the morning. Albinari's not going to accept any of that crap. I'll tell you, Stubb he just likes to waste people's time. Yeah, I'll be so silly he's going to accept one of them. The one that I'll be sent for 9 PM my time is the one that Stubb should be accepting, because that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon his time, and that, I mean, he's not going to be saying he's still working at that time. And of course, the other problem is he's not got too many more choices to have, because it expires in 2 days, the deadline. Anyway, Semipro now with ball in hand and a chance to go 2 in front. Did Stubb have any credit in the first place, Tin? I think he lost that a long while ago. Credibility. that was never up for debate. We knew full well that he would put in a stupid time. Well, this is a good chance, albeit that 10 ball is very tight for the 3 to go past it. But he's got the inside. And then the problem now is he's going to have to force this in if he's going to get that cue ball anywhere near the 4 ball, which is up by the 9. That little nudge there will do. Now, what's he going to do? Well, he's going to make the pot a lot more difficult if he's going to try and come down the narrow side on the right hand side. If he comes right down to the bottom, the worst he could have is a shot into the middle. Now what's happened here? Oh, he's gone in no man's land. Well, this is a tough choice. He's only got the one choice, top right hand corner pocket, and that's well played. And of course, the tough one is getting good on the 9. And that will do. So, Semipro from 4-2 down, 2-0 down at the start, 4-2 down, is all of a sudden going to be 2 racks in front. And now the question has been put to Winkatme. If he gets chances, is he going to take them out like right now, because the break is dry from Semipro and all the balls are on, and this is a pressure visit for Winkatme, because he knows that if he can't get the job done here and he leaves something on, he's going to be 3 behind. Well, there's no hypothetical about it. Stubb gets forfeited. Well, that's gone wrong, and that was Winkatme's chance, and now he's got himself back right into a corner here, because again he's thinking about hitting the 2 when he should probably think about trying to lock something up. Is he going to get lucky though? Well, he has done, and that is not bad, but Semipro has a good angle to skim away from that too. Well, he hasn't done. He's just trying to use the 6 as cover, and he's got, well, no, he hasn't quite. There's just an edge of the 2 showing, and once again, if Winkatme gets this right, he could maybe use the 4 ball. He's got to get the weight right, but try and get that cue ball down towards the 10. And he's just overhit it. Stubby sent you one for 9 PM, which is 4 PM your time. Get that one accepted. Well, Semipro went all out for it. It was a tough one, and he's going to pay the price. He's scratched, but I think he might still be okay here, unless Winkatme decides to go for the 10. He might be worthwhile trying it, because the 3 balls going nowhere. Yeah, he might have. Well, he's going to try and run into the 10 maybe, although the angle he's playing this here, he's going to run over to the 4. Well, that, I don't think that was a great choice. I mean, if he'd run on another 2 or 3 inches, yes, it would have been okay, but now he's got himself in a pressure situation again. Well, is he going to miss that 9? Yes, he has, and it's done him a favour. Well, now Winkatme has no choice. He has to take this out. Can't afford to go 3 adrift. this shot here, well, he's playing the draw, but again he's played that all wrong. I thought it was more a way to shot where he could just run through and come down the right hand side with the cue ball, but he didn't fancy it. But I certainly don't fancy the shot he's just played there. I mean, this is just stacked the pressure on himself to take this out, and as I say, sooner or later you're going to run out of these shots. You just cannot pick them out all the time. This is like a stub situation. This is how stub ends up half the time, trying to pull off shots that he really shouldn't be taking on. Desperate measures at the wrong time. Well, he's got the 6. And it's a case of survival. Every shot's a survival shot in Iraq, rather than being under control. And he's done another one. Way too heavy on the draw. Well, he's run out of shots, I think. He's got to go for the bank. This is all your eggs into one basket for one shot here. The difference between trailing by 1 or trailing by 3, and he's got it. Well, he has made his life hard in this rack, but that was an important visit. And now the break from the left hand side for Winkatme this time. So rather than playing from where the cue ball is placed when it's re-racked, he's decided to try the left hand side, and he might think again next time, because he's come up dry. That one ball is tight, but Semipro, let's have a look at this too. The 2 ball's tight as well. It's not just as simple to roll the one in at that limited space he had, so much better to play the safety and be patient. This is another, the awkward first ball, this 1 ball. The 5 ball is awkward as well, blocked by the 9. But this is a tough one to start. I wish I had regular office hours, I'll tell you. I mean, for 20 years I was like 8:30 in the morning till 5 at night, and that was fine. And then some shifts were like 11 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Now I'm a night owl. Well, it was a tough ask, that 1 ball for Semipro, but Winkatme now has a chance. Going to have to deal with that 5 ball. Well, I mean, this has got himself in trouble again, way off the mark on that 3, and he hasn't got the cover, and he'll be in bother in a minute, I think. Well, maybe he has got the cover. That's actually better than I thought. I thought Semipro could see the 3, Oh, that might work out perfect. That's excellent. And now the seesaw has tilted again with that shot. Now Semipro, can't say he hasn't had a bit of luck there. Just got that perfect. And of course, the one thing I keep saying as well, if you get it tight to that object ball, you narrow the margins, you narrow all the angles down for limited availability. And you can see Winkatme is struggling, and he's played it well, and a good result also. So both players come up with two good safety results. The Semipro this time nudging into the 10, but no damage done. Thin safety off the left hand side of the 3, and around the angles and back down to this corner would be the shot. It's a danger of a scratch though. Well, he's got it thinner than he wanted, and he scratched off the 6. Well, this still isn't a table to run out. It is far from that. First problem's the 3 ball, and Semipro using the head. There's no point in taking the 3 on when you can't get good in the 4. So much better to play another good safety, and he's come up with a result. And well, Winkatme now can't get to any of these other balls, which is another problem, because what he may well do would be to try and make it even more awkward down here. So if he comes down to try and hit this 3, he's only going to make things, open things up. He'd be better off just rolling the ball and doing nothing with it, and just, you know, take his chance that Semipro can't run out, because it'd be far sillier to actually run into these balls and open them up more. If he doesn't hit the 3, then with ball in hand the 3 goes, well, the 3 would be a combo into the 9, because I don't know whether it goes past the 4. It's tight to go past the 4, so Semipro looks as if he's made up his mind it's going to be the 3 fills. Or is it? Try and lock it up behind the 5. Well, that's not as tight as it should have been, and it's given Winkatme the angle. So Semipro knows that. He should have got that tight. And bear in mind, this is probably the best way to go about it, to try and get the 3 fills the way these balls are sat. There's no point in trying to run the table when it's nigh on impossible. And that's allowed Winkatme to get the kick. Okay, it's not safe, but once again there's no real damage done here. Oh, where's the cue ball going? He's okay, and Semipro will be running for cover again, up behind the 7. That's where he should be headed. He looks as if he's playing inside English. He's just missed the 6, but that's even more awkward, over the 7. Well, there's a good bit of tactics going on here, and that's, I don't know what the crucial shot is going to be here, because obviously the 5's blocked by the 9. The 5 will obviously go into that corner. The 6 ball goes as well. So it's all going to hinge on the 4. Cue ball scratched. Ball in hand for Semipro. And a chance for Semipro to take a 2-rack lead again. Got to get good on this 5 though. Let's see where he finishes. He's overhit it, but again by a big margin. He wanted to come squarer across the table, so now all he should be doing is just running for cover, a little brush onto the 5 and get distance. Oh, if it goes behind the 7, that's even more nasty. That is nasty. Now again, it's not a particularly difficult kick, although he's got a narrow line. That 8 ball is interfering. Can he get the line though? I think he's looking to go 2 rails here, try and kick in behind the 5 with a bit of English by the look of it. Oh, he's unlucky. So Semipro leads by 6 racks to 5 in this race to 10 one lost side match. Now again, with ball in hand, he can pot the 5, just run to the right side rail and get high enough on the 6. Well, he doesn't seem to like that angle, but that angle looks far better to me. Just to stun past the 10 ball, go to the rail if he wants. Needs to get up there. Now of course he pots the 6, and when he pots this 7, how's he going to get onto this 8 other than leave a big high cut? He could try and get the cue ball down towards the 8 somewhere, which would either leave him a shot for a pot or at least an easy safety. That's what he should be thinking here. He's maybe just going to try and leave this a high cut in the 8, but I think it might be better to try and get up the table. If he can get somewhere close to the 8, he doesn't necessarily need to be on it, but if he can't get a pot, he's at least in control that he can get a decent safety. Oh dear, well, it's all backfired and it's going to be 6 all. Why he didn't go just forward and down with a bit of power? So it's a free gift for Winkatme, and we are back all square. So Winkatme breaking off in rack number 13, and I think it's unlucky for some because the break is dry, but no shot for Semipro. Well, he's opened himself to trouble here, Semipro, because Winkatme will bury him behind the 4 and the 8. Again, you've got to think about your push outs, and he's conceded control here to Winkatme, but Winkatme has played a duff shot again. Winkatme's weight of shot and his safeties have been pretty poor. I mean, that cue ball should have been in by the 4 every day of the week. But it has to be said, Semipro's push out there wasn't well thought out. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable to your opponent putting you into a tight safety, and he's got away with it. But Semipro has done what Winkatme should have done. Well, there's a strange name. Good evening, Stratos. Welcome. Well, the kick has been played, and this time it's worked out. Well, we've seen a mixture of quality of shots here tonight. Wrong shot choices, poor weight of shot by Winkatme in 2 or 3 of the shots, some decent kick safety, so it's been a right mixture. And now Semipro is in a whole heap of trouble here. He's filled the 8, so ball in hand. Now what's Winkatme going to do here, because the 4 ball is the problem. He could go for the 3 fouls, because there's good cover here to get 3 fouls, or he can go for the 110 combo. No, I think he's just trying to hide here. Or is he? If so, why is he putting the cue ball there to play a 110 combo over the 6 ball? Well, he thinks that's going to give him the best line to make the cut, so he's going for it. Yeah, that was tough. 1 ball's now gone safe, and now Semipro, if he can squeeze the one past that 8, which he can, well, I thought he could. He didn't fancy it, but I thought he could have pushed it past that 8. Well, it's 6-all. It's anybody's rack at the moment, and not the best of safeties again from Winkatme, because this 1 ball obviously goes, but Semipro refused it, and he hasn't got cover, and he could be in trouble again. Oh, that's the worst shot of the night. There's the worst shot of the night there by Winkatme. I didn't think he could get any worse, but that is the worst shot he's played tonight. That was poor, and his touch is out the window, and it's given Semipro a free go here if he can get up the table, which I don't think he has done. Again, you overhit that, you're going to at least have a good sight of the 2 ball, and he's over the 3, trying to make a cut in the 2. Well, they're making it hard for themselves. Winkatme more than anybody, because some of the shots he's played, his touch is non-existent. And Semipro having a go. Good evening, see you later, Tin. Now, what about this 6 ball? Let's have a quick look at that. I'll let goes if you can get good on it. You've got to get out for that 5 though off this 4. I'm surprised Semipro didn't go for that 1 ball, because he could have stunned the 1 in and he would have been on the 2. He refused it, and he might regret it. Well, this has got to be punched in to get that cue ball out and across for the 6. and the fact that he's got himself reasonably straight in the 6 makes it a lot easier to get to that 7. Well, it looks most likely now Winkatme's going to take the lead again, but that was a strange rack. And after that poor shot by Winkatme in the 6, he's going to get out of jail here by the look of it. Semipro had his chance. And this has got to be a little punch as well, a little punchy draw, just to get up high enough. You don't want to be leaving any awkward cut in the 10, you've got to go right through the shot. And he's got the spin, and it's definitely going to be a 1 rack lead. Now Winkatme was breaking from there, but he's decided for the last few breaks to go left. 3 ball goes in, no shot in the 1. 8 ball hanging over the corner. 5 very adjacent to the 9. Now is he going to call the 8? Yes, he has done. Bank on the 1 onto the 8. Well, he'll take that every day of the week. That 1 ball's finished perfect. Just stun the 1 in. He's on the 2. And of course, the lifeline for Semipro is that 5 ball where it's stuck. Well, if Winkatme had the touch, he could play a little draw, and if he finishes bottom side of the 4, he could push the 4 into the left middle and run into the 5 and 9. That would be 1 shot. Now he's gone the other way, and the angle that he's got here, he could cut the 4, and he can certainly brush into that 9 and 5. That's the shot he's got to play, and then just hope he gets lucky. Unless he's looking at the 5-7 as a combo. We'll soon find out. That's what he's decided, and he's gone too far again, right on the rail. So you basically with this shot got to pot the 5. That's really the line that you're looking for, because if you pot the 5, then the line that it'll take has got to run into that 7 and push it into the hole. That's where you just focus on potting the 5. The line to the pocket is more or less the same for the 7. So as long as you pick the line to pot the 5, you should pot the 7. In all the time, and he's just got enough gap to get the 5. Now, yeah, I think he's got to go forward. I don't know if he plays the draw, he's going to run into the 9. Good evening, Jose. Late to the party again, but you've come at the right time. Well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? I think he had to go forward. And even if the cue ball finished up in that top corner, up like where it was, he would have probably still had a cut in the 6. Now it's just the thin edge. Try and get distance. Now the safety shot would be the snooker shot here for Semipro. You hit that 6 ball, half ball, send it over towards the 9, but you're getting the cue ball somewhere here. You're maybe leaving a bank, and you're maybe also leaving the chance of a snooker against you, but that would be the one shot that you could play as a potential safety. But he's called the bank in the 6, so it's all out and it ain't there, and that is not a bad result. And this is not a good bank either. He's going to have to make this. And how good is he going to be in this 9 ball if he does get it? This could be the crucial shot in the rack for Winkatme. Potentially vital 2-rack lead. Is the cue ball going to run? No. Well, again, the reverse bank. I think he's got to call it into this corner. He doesn't look as if he's doing it though. I don't think Semipro is going to turn this down. I think Semipro is going to go all out. It's a good looking bank, and well, I think Winkatme at 7-6 up at this point in the match, that was the time you should have taken the risk. It could backfire on him here. And in goes the 9. And he's given Semipro a lifeline that he maybe shouldn't have got in this rack, because I think Winkatme should have took the bank on. There are times you have to take the risk, and he could be sitting 8-6 up right now, and the safety he played, well, it was just an open invitation to take on the bank for Semipro, and Semipro wasn't going to turn that down, and he's got the reward, and it's back all square. 7 racks all, but the break is dry again, and once again Semipro has given Winkatme a sight in the 1, albeit not a healthy position to get good in the 2. If it keeps running, that is not bad. Is he still okay? Yes, he is. Now, is Winkatme going to redeem himself in this rack? Because they're all there. They're all on. It's going to be 3-4. It's going to be the clincher here, because it's, if he gets down the bottom here on the 4, he's got the 5 in the middle, but this is the one that's vital. 3-4, and I think he's got to check this up with right hand English. The worst that can happen is he's going to run into the 7 ball. He's got to go down the right hand side. Well, he's trying to stun it around. How's his luck? Well, that will do. Big risk doing that way, but that nudge onto the 8 hasn't done him any favours. And that has though. So now, well, this is a shot. This is a similar shot to the shot that Semipro had earlier on in those a couple of racks ago. On this on a 1 ball that he turned down. Winkatme's got no option here, I don't think. He's just got to go for it. And in it goes. I think he can pot this and he'll hit the point. I don't think he'll scratch. He's just got to go forward. As long as he pushes it and goes forward, I think he'll be okay. Well, he's looking as if he's trying to draw away from it, but I don't. Maybe he thinks he's going to scratch. I think if he pushes forward on that 6, then I don't think he'll scratch. I think he'll just hit the point. But he's digging deep on it. He's called the 8. Oh well, look at where the cue ball's finished. He's got Semipro blocked out, I think. Yeah. He can't get past the point, can he? Well, looking at it there, that's extremely tight to see any of that 6 ball. Well, he's trying to just bend it. Well, at least he's hit it. Oh, now, Semipro, I think you should do the lottery as well, because he's got out of jail there big time. That is a good result. He'll feel he deserved it after having been locked in the corner behind the jaw. And immediately control goes back to Semipro. Oh, cue ball scratched, and well, that's the chance that Semipro wants, and a chance to go into the lead again for the second time in the match at a vital time. And he's having a look at this 7, because the 7 is the big problem. Let's be honest, it doesn't go. He's got to do something, and I think he may well have to run the cue ball unless he wants to play the billiard onto the 8, but then he doesn't really know where the 7's going. Well, he's trying to line up the combo. Well, he's got to get this perfect if he's playing the combo, because that 8 ball could just go to the jaw, and he's not interested. Much better locking Winkatme up, and he can't get the kick off the rail. Well, good luck with this shot. He's called the 8 ball. I think you need a degree in physics to work out an angle where you can try and kick that 7. Now, yeah, that hasn't worked out. What he tried there was to actually not leave the combo, but leave the 8 ball still blocking the 7. So he had the right idea with that shot there, but it's just gone wrong. He just played the deliberate foul, but tried to leave it still blocked. And Semipro has the combo to start. Now, I don't think he can avoid running into the 9. He's got to draw off it. So Semipro now is the player that is going to go into the lead. Again, vital times in the match. Getting the upper hand. And with the break in rack number 16. Now, where's he going to break? Left side again, or just from there? No, left side. And we haven't seen the 2 ball run around and go into this bottom right hand corner. It thought about it there, but run into another ball. And the break is dry. Now again, Winkatme, perfectly simple safety shot here. He can stun that 1 up the table, just lock the cue ball onto the 5. What's he doing? Lining up the pot? Yeah, that's asking too much. Again, he had a good safety shot on, and now again he's got away with it. He's left nothing. But that was a high tariff cut on that ball into the middle. Not a bad response though. But well, the awkward one is going to be the 6. Semipro has his chance. The 1 goes past the 8. He'll be on the 2, no problem. He doesn't need to worry about the cue ball. He'll definitely be on the 2 because it's heading in the right direction to have a sight in the 2. Oh, he's gone pretty straight. Now, he'd probably be better drawing this back up the table. Anywhere up into the middle of the table, he'll be on the 3. I don't think he's got into it. He hasn't got into it at all. Well, both players have been struggling to get the shots executed properly here, and Semipro's just dug himself a hole. Well, that was close, but no cigar, and well, the first real good chance now that Winkatme's got to get back in level terms. And I still say that 6 ball is going to be the issue. 5 to 6 is the important one, and he certainly can't get the 6 down in this pocket here. I mean, that's too tight, especially where it is in the rail. He's got to get in here to get on that 6. I don't think he's got any other choice. Let's have a look where he is here. Well, he has the chance. He's going to have to punch this 5 in. If he just lets the cue ball roll, he's going to have a really tough shot in the 6. And look at where the 7 is. So it's a chance, but it is not easy. Well, he's gone to the wrong side of the 6 because this is really difficult. It's tight in the rail, and if he goes too tight straight away, he's going to hit that knuckle. And if he just bumps the rail, he's going to hit the 9. So this is a big shot to stay at the table. Good evening, Simon. That was a good one. Played it perfect. Now, the 7-10 combo. Well, that is not easy either. You've got to cut across that 7 and brush onto the 10. It is difficult. You would think even if we went to play the safety here, Semipro is just going to kick up and down and hit the 7, might even pot it if he tries to play this safe. But he's called the 10. So this, to get back all square. Well played. Pressure shot. And we are heading deep into the business end of the match. 8 racks all. And Winkatme with a break. Now his first break tonight was from the centre, maybe a couple of them I think, from the centre of the table, or at least one. But now he's breaking from the same side as Semipro, and he's come up dry. And once again, Semipro with no real shot here. I mean, let's be honest, the 8 ball's hanging. He could play a 1-10-8 combo here, which is a bit ambitious. This will be a good shot, I tell you, because there's not much room past the 9 either for that 10 ball. Well, it's going to be the combo this time. Even I could play this one. Now, is he going for the 1-10-8 combo, or is he going for the 1 billiard onto the 9 onto the 8 combo? It looks like, well, the way he's lined up just now, it's the 1-10-8 combo. And it goes, and it's going to be the 1-10 combo now to go into the lead. Not difficult, other than the fact it's just on the point, and that's why it stayed out the pocket. Just on the point. I don't know whether he looked close at that. He had to get that properly flush, and Semipro has got the gift, and he's on the hill with the break. And where's the 2 ball going? Oh, it's just hit the 9. It was going in. That 6 was a blocker as well, but I don't think anything else is going in. It is dry, and well, this is pressure now in the tournament, because Winkatme is staring defeat, and he has an open table, and he has a shot in the 1, and he has to take it out. It is as simple as that, or he is gone. And again, straight away, another duff shot. He's played some crap shots tonight, and that's up there. That is definitely up there. Now, if he doesn't get this, it could be all over. He has called the bank. Should be on the 3, but it all hinges on this shot. Oh, he's blasted at 100 miles an hour, never gave it a chance. And was he really playing for the 3 ball there with that shot? Well, again, he's played 2 shots there in a row, and the 3 worst shots tonight have all been played by Winkatme, most certainly, and even more than that. And well, it could be his last shot, because Semipro, with ball in hand, push through the 2, get up far enough for the 3, and then of course the big problem is from that 4 ball to get down here onto the 5. But Winkatme is probably thinking that that's his only lifeline, that 5 ball. If Semipro can't get there, well, he's certainly going to draw, and he's just going to hope he gets lucky here. Oh, again, he hasn't gone through with the shot at all. Now, what does he do? Surely got to be the safety. Got to just bank that 5 gentle enough that he keeps the cue ball near the 6. Well, he's went all out for the pot, and the cue ball scratched. Well, again, Semipro trying to grab the bull by the horns when the safety shot was a shot that should have been taken, and it's all backfired, and we are looking like, well, I was going to say we are looking like going hill. We'll take a rain check on that, as the Americans say, because he's the wrong side of the 7 and this cue ball's running. And well, if Winkatme could just have got his pace right, he would have this match done and dusted. But it has been all over the place, and now he's in no man's land. Oh, goodness me. with ball in hand. How's he ended up here? That is his chance, and this is most certainly possibly his last shot if it doesn't go. All or nothing on this one. Cue ball's got to be going up the table to get on the 9. All hinges on this if we're going to go all the way. Match has been on for just on 90 minutes. Yeah, he's overcut it. And, well, look at what's happened here. Semipro, is he going to get lucky this time? No, he isn't. And that is more than likely going to be it for Winkatme. And I think in the course of the evening, I think he's got nobody else to blame but himself. I mean, he's had ball in hand there, and he played. His touch wasn't there. His touch was never going to be good enough to guarantee he could get that cue ball under control, and it's cost him in the end. And well, I think 10-8 results were predicted, and it's going to be 10-8 to Semipro, and he marches on. And Winkatme, well, he wants to have a look back at this video and see how many poor shots he played, because he played a sack load of them that cost him in the end. Let's have a quick final look at the bracket, guys, before we go, and let's just see if we can get this refresh thing sorted. I don't know whether that'll make any difference, but we can see that Semipro is now through to play Jover, and I would suggest that Semipro will have an easier match there, although strange things happen. But Semipro now through, and if we look further up, if I can get this bloody thing to work, we've got Cobra waiting on someone from the one lost side now. And who's that going to be? Because if we look across and we go up, we can see Spectre Dawn is lying in wait for the winner of the match between Stubb and Albinario, and there's nothing being set yet on that one, so it's going to happen over the next couple of days, guys, so I'll be there for it. I hope you can as well. If you can't, remember, it'll be on YouTube, and I'll also add it to the playlist if you want to watch any of the matches. So with that, guys, it hasn't been the best match of the tournament by far. Error strewn, I would say, and Winkatme is the one who strew a lot more errors than Semipro, and well, it cost him with that poor shot to the 8 ball. He'll live to regret that one. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Hope you can join us for the Stubb Albinario match. If you can't, remember, it will be there as long as it happens in the next couple of days, which it has to anyway. And I will see you again soon, so I'll bid you good night and thanks for watching.